Hey guys, welcome back to the table. And on the table, you see my newly acquired Walther PPS M2 RMSC. So apparently, I'm into buying guns with ridiculously long names now. But in regards to this particular firearm, as many of you are aware, Walther came out with this last year, and it was kind of an interesting gun because you're getting a single stack subcompact with a micro dot on the top. Now, in my personal opinion, I thought this handgun was going to take the market by storm. I mean, who would not want to have extreme concealability, in this case with the 5 round magazine, extreme concealability with a nice micro red dot on top? I thought this gun was going to take the market by storm. There were not, as far as I know at that point, and still to this day, there are no offerings in that segment of the market. Yet, for whatever reason, this gun never really got a lot of traction. And I'm not sure why that is. If you even look through YouTube, there's maybe a dozen or so videos on this particular handgun and this model, which is kind of startling because you're getting a quality handgun because it is from Walther. The PPS M2 has a decent track record being comfortable shooting it, a decent trigger, and an overall satisfactory build. Now, surprisingly enough, it didn't get a lot of traction. And again, guys, the gun is clear. But one of the things that I have to say that I've seen about this gun so far is that, again, ergonomically, it's very comfortable in the hand. So that's a huge bonus. Secondly, in regards to just, zeroing in the dot, which I haven't done yet because I have not taken this gun to the range, but as you can see, there's the red dot right there. And one of the things you're going to know is it just comes up so easily. The glass or the window here is nice and tall. It's also fairly wide for this handgun. So as a result, it shows up very easily when you bring it up to eye level. Now, in regards to the construction, if you guys are familiar with the Walther PPS M2, you're going to know that it's built very well. Again, this is an Ulm-built Walther, which is always a bonus. Basically, it works and operates just like any other Walther. And I have to say, I was very surprised to see the condition of this handgun when I received it. Again, this was a used purchase, and I had no problem buying it because it was $400, and this gun usually retails around $700. So at that price, I said, I got to jump on it. Plus, I've wanted to get back into the single stack market for quite a while. And with this purchase, I was able to do that, and really with not a lot of effect to the budget. Again, on the inside, you see your basic stuff, your rails there, this full length right here, which is kind of nice. But ultimately, this gun proved to be quite a dirty little pig when I got it. Funny enough, when I was cleaning it, I actually wasn't cleaning out any carbon from it. I was actually cleaning out lint, like a tremendous amount. It almost looks like somebody put in their laundry bag and left it there for about 2 years. There was so much lint in this thing that I almost could have stitched my own pair of pants after I was done cleaning it. But other than that, there was no carbon coming out of this gun at all. Again, you've got your captured guide rod. I'm not going to pull everything out, but the barrel is in really good shape. There was no fouling of the feet ramp, so that was easy enough to clean. All the springs looked really good, so I had no issues with this gun as of now. And when I cleaned it, it came out just sparkling clean, which is actually a very nice thing. At least that's what I like to, see my guns as. Now, in regards to the operation of the gun, this particular handgun came with a 6 round, and then 2 7-round magazines. So there is no 8-round magazine, which is okay by me. The 8-round, while it's a very long grip, it comes a little bit further down. It's almost kind of got this piece right here, and I'll put that up to the camera so you can see. But this piece here actually extends a little bit further down on the 8-round magazine, so it actually comes a little bit lower where your pinky is. But I find that, for me, optimally, the 7-round is where I like to be. Purchase-wise, it's a nice purchase to it. You don't have to worry about dangling that pinky off. I mean, for ideal carry purposes, if you want full concealability, you probably want to go with that flat magazine. Again, it's going to be a 2-fingered grip at the bottom. You might be able to smash your pinky on depending on the size of your hands. But again, crush it with your support hand, and you should not have any problems whatsoever with this gun. Trigger-wise, it is a very standard PPS trigger. One of the things I have to say I like about this trigger is the short take up. So right about there is where you're going to hit your wall, and then it breaks. So it's actually very nice. Reset wise, some people complain that it's not a very tactile reset. Again, I'm not in that school of thought that reset really matters when you're in a self-defense situation. But there's your reset right there, which is kind of interesting with this one. I noticed that there's a small click when I pull the trigger out. Let me see if you can catch that. I don't know if you guys can catch that, but let's see. It just happened right there. It's a little metal on metal contact. And then there's your reset. So the reset is not necessarily the most positive reset. Ultimately, I'll compare this to the Mod 2, the XDS Mod 2, where the reset on that is very good, but this trigger pull is much better than the Mod 2. So the trigger is not great, but it's not bad. It's definitely usable, controllable, and it's not super heavy. Actually, I tested the trigger. It's coming in a little bit under 5-pound pulls. So I think that's fairly good for a self-defense carry pistol right out of the box, especially the Walther in regards to that. Now let's talk about the RMSC. So there are some people who will sit there and say that the RMSC is not that great of a red dot. It is an aluminum constructed body, so that might be a negative against it for just in regards to, the durability. There's always going to be that question about aluminum for durability. Again, aluminum is fairly strong. However, is it as strong as steel? Obviously not. But, at the same time, to keep down weight, especially on a gun this small, I think aluminum was a no-brainer in regards to that. Now, my only complaint about this red dot so far is the fact that the actual glass is not glass. It's actually polymer. And that's where I'm a little iffy on this to begin with, because over time, I'm assuming the polymer is going to mark up a little bit. And interestingly enough, on this particular handgun, again, whoever owned it, I don't think took very good care of it, because there are some fine little scratches on the dot, and you can almost pick it up in the lens there. Now, does it really disturb your eye view when you're picking up the red dot? It does not. It is noticeable, but not necessarily noticeable when you're shooting the gun. Again, you're going to be focusing on the red dot, not necessarily the little fine scratches on the lens. So overall, I would say that would be the only downside. Oh my God, I'm pointing it at me. Actually, it's at my camera. But, overall, the gun, I think, is built very well. I would see no issues with this long-term in regards to just the overall quality and construction of it. Now, weight-wise, for some people, this, again, may be a little bit heavy with the addition of the red dot. The Walther is a fairly heavy single stack, 21.7 ounces for this particular model, and I think they usually range in around 20 point something. So you're only picking up, I think it's actually 21.3 or something like that is the actual weight of the original PPS M2. So really, you're only picking up about 0.4 ounces. Now, is that going to kill you in regards to weighing you down? I don't think so. Now, there are, of course, some people who will say, well, why would you carry this when you can carry a shield that comes in around 18 and change. The P365, I think, is 17 and change. And I think the Glock 43 is about 16 and change. So this is really going to be the heaviest single stack on the market. But honestly, I don't see that as a negative. I see that as a positive. It shoots 9mm. You want to try to reduce the muzzle flip. You want to have a controllable firearm. So the added weight, in my opinion, is actually worth it. And we're not talking about a difference of 3 pounds. We're talking about a difference of maybe 3 ounces. Now, if you're concerned about 3 ounces, well, I don't know what to say, guys. For me, it's not really that bad. Now, in regards to just kind of giving you a visual comparison as to why I think, for whatever reason, this gun has been completely missed by the market. I mean, when you look at the thinness of this handgun, guys, it's ridiculous. It's extremely thin in regards to just being comfortable to walk around and wear. Now, to give you kind of an idea of just how amazingly thin this is for this micro dot to be on top, I'm going to give you my Glock 19 MOS here. And you can see that just in the grip alone, the Glock 19 MOS is ridiculously chunky compared to this. Now, keep in mind, double stack versus single stack, but that does give you a kind of an idea in regards to just the difference of size. So for me, I think this is such an ideal way to carry, because not only are you getting such a thin platform, you're also getting a fairly small platform, but at the same time, you're also getting a micro dot on the top. So if you were worried about, your eyes getting older and you want to make sure you have a nice little picture, why wouldn't you want to go for something like this? Yes, some people may say the price is a little bit too high, but again, it comes standard with that. One of the other things that I think is a huge bonus of this handgun, which some people may not talk about, and I think it's kind of interesting because there are people out there who will go out and they'll spend, $1,000 on a gun because it can have a some sort of optic on it. But interestingly enough, they'll pay that money and that gun won't even have co-witnessing. The great thing about this handgun that I found, which in my opinion is actually very good, is that the standard sights that come with every PPS M2, you can actually co-witness with the red dot. And I think that's awesome. So to me, this seems to be like the ultimate carry gun that most people have not gotten. And I know there's a lot of hype on the 43X, and I know there's a lot of hype on that 48. And again, I am picking up the 48. Don't know about the 43X just yet. But in my opinion, this gun right here solves all of your needs in one. It's extremely accurate handgun. The trigger is decent. It is a shootable gun, so it's not so small where it's going to be uncomfortable to shoot all day long at the range. You can absolutely do this with this handgun. So I think overall, this was a great purchase, and overall, it's still a fantastic handgun no matter what. Again, it's going to be up to you to decide if it's worth your money to do that. However, if you're looking at a really good concealable, reliable handgun, something that comes already optics ready with co-witnessing sights, I honestly don't see how you could go wrong with a Walther PPS M2 RMSC. So I want to know what you guys have to think. Tell me what you think about this gun. Is this gun something you would consider buying? Again, I'm going to be doing a range review as well, so this isn't going to be the first time you see it. I can't wait to take this out and shoot and see how well I can do with it, but I will be reporting back and making another video on that as well. So again, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Make sure you tap that bell so you guys are getting notifications when these videos are uploaded. Again, let me know what you think. Is the PPS M2 RMSC worth your money? And do you think that this gun has been completely ignored by the gun market? And if so, why? Hope you guys have a great day. Stay safe. And as always, freedom is never free.